but basically, since this is a first time, we'll just take it from the beginning. Adrian, if you can just give us a little introduction about yourself, where you come from, why you're here, what makes you part of Fnatic, and then we'll go a bit more into the details afterwards.
Yeah, so I'm the memberships manager in Fnatic. I am originally from Malaysia, so I'm not British. I'm 0% UK. Born and raised in Kuala Lumpur. So came over here when I was like 12 years old. Just wanted to have a better life, progress myself, and yeah, I've been a fan of the organizations since like 2014, 2015. 2015 is where I fell in love. 2014 is when I was introduced to it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, there was a middle part to my career, but you know, there's a long story basically. And now I'm here. So yeah, dream come true.
We're here for that long story, Adrian. I'm glad you mentioned that because we need to know all the pieces.
You want to know every single.
We are here for that. Or otherwise, I don't have any content. So I mean, there's plenty of questions that have been asked under the tweet, and there's going to be plenty to answer for afterwards, as well as some quickfire questions that I have prepared. So from conception to now, okay, look, you need to calm down, man. Like this guy is getting too Loki, if you want an interview one day, don't worry, you can. Okay, Loki and Lyden are after me. My beard is amazing, by the way. It got trimmed a few weeks ago, so I will not take. Thank you. See, Adrian knows. But yeah, tell us. So I'm the first one to be surprised, obviously, because perfect English accent. Would not have guessed that you came in. It was at the age of 12, is what you said. So
yeah. I was when I moved.
Yeah, usually you would have people with that type of accent that either born there or a bit like me were born abroad and came over to the other country at a very, very young age. So did you come over here on your own with your family? Tell us everything about it.
So I came here when I was 12 years old with my brother.
Okay.
We both went to boarding school together. And I remember when I left Malaysia, it was like one of those decisions where I was like, I'm so 100% certain that this is the right move for me. Like, I remember just like telling my parents like it has to happen. I can't stay here for any longer. So yeah, I just moved over. Did education, did university. And whilst I was doing university, another little fun fact you may not know about me, but I actually used to work in team management of esports. So I was in a team in the UKLC or the NLC, and I bounced around like the Italian ERLs, the Prime League, Division 1, and yeah, so before I had a job, well, before my last job, I was working in esports as a team manager, and I was part of a team actually that did get a win against Fnatic Rising in.
Oh wow! Controversial.
But nah, yeah. So that was my humble beginnings. That's why I have a rough esports background, but like nothing related to what I'm sort of like doing now. And then after that, I thought like my career trajectory was going into a decent place. I was like making it, I was getting team offers and all that. But I was like, I kind of want to try something new. I kind of want to try something like not related to team esports anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked for a company called Belong Arenas. If anyone knows what that is, it's a game. I'm sure everyone in the UK has heard of it. It's just like this game company. They used to have these esports arenas where you pay money and you can play games. So I had my own arena. I was hired by a guy called Tom. He actually, if he ever hears this, but he works for SideQuest. I think he works for Google now or something. I'm not sure. But he was great. He taught me so much. About like management of the arena. And more importantly, we also had a memberships program there. And he was very heavily pushing the sales of memberships and like creating great community experiences with the program, which is, so he eventually left and I was the one sort of like, I mean, he told, I don't know if he was just saying this to boost my ego, but he sort of told me like, you're going to be the lead of this now, and I want you to focus a lot on like the membership side of things. And we got to a place where that arena, there are multiple in the UK, became the top performing arena in the entire island.
Nice.
That's yeah. So like we were doing well, and then I saw Fnatic were like, oh, actually no, dramatic story incoming.
Oh, there you go.
No, like genuinely, it's quite interesting. So it was like, the landlord of the store was like, we don't want a gaming arena here anymore.
Okay.
So we're gonna kick you out. So I was like, oh my god, there goes my job. I'm clearly foreign. So I'm on a work visa here. So I was concerned, like, oh, if I'm unemployed for too long, they might just like cancel the visa. They're like, go home now. I do not want to go home. No disrespect to my country, of course. Shout out to my people, but I want to stay here. And I was like, crap, this could be me being unemployed. I don't want that. Got bills to pay, you know.
Yeah, and they were kicking you out when it was like a top performing location as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it was an awkward situation.
Yeah,
just like that. And so I just remember like they were doing consultation talks with all the employees to see what they want to do, and here I am, peeping myself. I saw Fnatic were promoting this memberships manager position, and I was like, I run a memberships program. I'm a massive Fnatic fan. Let me just flip an application. You know, I'm gonna put my massive amount of effort into this application. You know, and I'm just gonna hope for the best because I know I'll be good for this job. Well, hopefully. But and I was like, I feel something about it. I have a good feeling about this, and it's come at a time where I was like, yeah, burger flip the app. No, I didn't burger flip the application. But it was at a time where I was like, I need something. Like, there's no way stars have aligned in a certain way without me, you know, needing to apply for this job. So I applied for it. And so time went on, application went through, went well, obviously. Well, not.
You got the job in the end. Wow.
Yeah. But essentially, I just remember this one day where I had a job offer from that current company that I was working for to work at a different arena.
Okay.
And then I got a job offer for like, not a job offer, but I got reached out by my old line manager, the guy who I talked about, saying he would like for me to come work with him at his new job. And then Fnatic called and said, we want to offer you the job.
Oh.
And as someone who's like, I don't think highly of myself that much, but I was in this situation where I was like, oh my god. I was like,
I'm the king of the world right now. Everybody wants me.
I was like, okay, all right, guys, like, and that.
Put forward your best offer, and I will see.
Yeah, exactly. So it was quite cool. Obviously, I could not deny Fnatic's offer. I 100% took it, and that's where I am. So now I'm here.
There you go. See, what an amazing background story. Like, I bet no one, like, out of probably the core Pioneer people, or maybe Loki and Lynn, because these people, they just know everything somehow. They knew about it. And it's a great segue because this was our first question of the day by one of the people who left a comment was, how did you become membership management? Did you have any previous esports experience? So obviously, my question would be, obviously, when you started any studies, was that something you were already planning, or is it just something you kind of stumbled upon? You were, you know, given the opportunity to work on a project. You're like, esports looks kind of fun. I'm going to get into that. Like, how did that sort of first experience with esports like really happen? That first contact, maybe?
It came as a hobby, actually. I was part of this group of friends. One of them was named Grievance, or his name's Grant, and I'll list some of the companies he's worked for. He's worked for Guild. He's worked for CLG, and he's worked for. He's currently working for Falcon Esports, which is like a Middle Eastern esports company. And he was like my first inspiration, because we were just a bunch of friends playing the game, like in like some piss low silver tournaments, right? And he went off and like started this career. We were playing in this team called Last Remedy, and then eventually Last Remedy started having players like Broxer, and I was like, oh my god, so this is a thing. I took inspiration from that, and I was like, I'm gonna go and try my own career. And then I started this team called SOV, which is the first three letters of my gamer name.
There you
go. Yeah, so SOV, I started this team, and like slowly but surely, we started having teams all across European tournaments, right? And one of our teams, we got to Challenger Series qualifiers, quarterfinals. Like no budget. It was just me, this other coach, and a bunch of no names. And I remember people being like, "Who are these guys? Like who even are you? Like, how much are you paying your players?" And I was like, "I'm not paying them anything. Like, just
a mouse pad."
Yeah, not even a mouse pad. I was like, we just hang out on Discord. Like, I pay them in community nights. Like that was it, right? So we had this like insane project, and people were like, "Who are you? Like, where do you come from?" I was like, "I'm just some kid, just having fun, you know." And then I think one guy was a manager for a ESL Premiership. This was at the time the UK Division 1. He was the manager for the team, and he moved on for a better offer, and he threw my name in the hat of like, hey, there's this upcoming League of Legends team manager that you should 100% pick up. Go for him. And then they banked on me. I was like 18, 17 at the time, so it's quite weird to be like a team manager at that age, but you know, I took it, and it went well. I guess I did have a decent career, so yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's quite funny how it just basically all bounces off each other in the end. It's like, well, just opportunities upon opportunities.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's another great segue into your current role with this question submitted by our good man N Zen from Core Pioneer membership, who asks, biggest surprise in the job compared to expectations. So obviously, as you're someone who's had a lot of experience already in terms of membership and esports overall, how does it compare maybe to your previous experiences and, you know, obviously what you had in mind when you initially applied?
So I expected, I didn't expect how friendly Fnatic employees actually were, because you know, as a fan from the outside, you know, Fnatic as like, this is esports royalty. This is the where you want to be.
This is premium.
it is like, there's premium, there's a standard, but I think the one thing I was instantly surprised with was how helpful each and every employee was. And I mean, especially from the outside, I always knew Fnatic was a company that did everything they could for the fan base, right? He's safe from the HQ prison.
I have to ask, are you being held at gunpoint by Sam Matthews? If yes, blink twice.
I'm joking. No. It's like, seriously, like, genuinely, like, from the outside, I knew Fnatic was a company that was like, they care about the fan base, they prioritize it. I didn't realize how much, to an extent, that was actually true. Because I was like, of course they can market things as like, yeah, of course we love the fans, but internally it might be different. I think when I joined, I was like, wow, they genuinely like Sam, for example, he genuinely does care a lot about the fans. Like, a lot of meetings, he does ask me like, are the fans gonna like this? You know, so I mean, just the simple fact that is a deciding factor in some of the decisions is like, to me, it's like huge, because I know a lot of companies that are as big as Fnatic that don't do this, that are like, we can pretend to care about the fans, but we don't actually. You know, I have been in esports organizations where it's like, yeah, we'll do it to get money, but we don't actually care that much about what the fans do. Whereas Fnatic, they absolutely do 100%. And it was not like a surprise, but it was more like a pleasant confirmation of like, okay, people do care, like, inside of it. So it was nice, and you know, as I said, the employees here are so friendly, so helpful. I'm very, I'd say, young in terms of like, for as a working person. Like, I'm only 23. So there's a lot of things that I need to learn. There's a lot of like guidance I need, and I, you know, I'm so grateful and so blessed to have such helping hands in this company to help me with everything. So yeah.
Awesome. I mean, I think it's a good thing that you mentioned about Sam, because I think he gets a bad rep, obviously. Especially, I think, since he started the Core Pioneer membership. I don't know if you felt kind of this backlash. Obviously, there's a lot of concern and questioning around the fact that it's based on NFTs, and it kind of overshadows all the benefits that come with it. How, on your side of things, obviously, maybe being a bit less under the spotlight, but still being the guy who has to, manage and vehicle about all of this. How have you managed this kind of, maybe not the backlash, but sort of the negativity that has come with the initial announcement of the NFT?
Yeah. So, I completely agree. Trying to promote and sell something that gets instant backlash, despite like no matter what how you promote it, it's hard. But the way I saw it was like this program. Like if I was a fan, I would be a member. Like of course there are concerns about the fact that it's an NFT or the fact that it is extremely expensive, but you'd almost have to compare it to like a Twitch subscription. Like by no means are we treating other fans worse because of this. It's more just like these guys have, like, for example, yourself, right? You're a member.
And the Pride one as well.
Yeah. So you've paid the membership fee. Therefore, my job is to treat you. Love that. So you've paid the membership fee. So therefore, my job is to make sure that you are taken care of as a fan, and that you have like the best fan experience possible. That doesn't mean that the other fans are like forgotten about or like disregarded, because that's where other parts of the company come in. Like, for example, you know Tani, our community manager. She does great at events. Like a perfect example is our event at Malmö. That meet and greet with the players at the after party, that was she planned that in like 20 minutes. Like, just to put into perspective what we are doing things for other fans. It's just like for the memberships, for example, that thing we did where I was giving away like signed merchandise. That was just my idea. I just saw of it. I like had these products that and a colleague of mine was like, "Hey, we got these signed, but we haven't used them for anything." And I was like, "Oh, I could definitely do something for members at Malmö." So it wasn't like we're not putting a fan experience behind a payroll. Like I said, I want to not want to, because I think it's quite obvious, but yeah, I definitely see the membership more like a Twitch subscription of like you get extra benefits or like you get the special treatment. So yeah.
No, yeah, I mean it's very similar to even what you have in more like traditional sports, like football clubs, for instance. Where I mean, especially for when you realize the value in that for football clubs, it's a yearly renewal, whereas here it's like a one-time payment and you have all this access. Like I think this also gets lost in a lot of the chaos and the communication and everything. Using your football club or your football club's example, yes, if you listen to Loki, like he's behind everything that's happening in Fnatic. Yeah, he's the one who actually spawned Adrian, who brought him onto this earth and put him behind the membership program.
I came from Loki, actually.
Yeah, from Loki's mind, just whoop, and you appeared. Actually, since we're on the topic of memberships, we have Lidden, who has his serious and not so serious question. We'll start with the serious one, which is, if you could choose another model for the membership, what model would you like? Monthly, yearly, other, and what benefits would that model have? So we'll start with this
one. If I could choose, I don't think I could choose another model for it. And I think the reason I say that is because when I was applying for the job, I watched the AMA with, I think it had Sam, Power, Yamato Cannon, and Josh, our head of marketing. And when they were talking about why is this on a blockchain, it made sense to me. I was like, Sam essentially said he just wants to give value to fans. And for me, I'm a big picture thinker. Obviously it's important to know the small details, but the fact that is the goal of the membership is you know, to me, it's like, listen, that's the program, and like I don't see how we could build a successful program without any other, you know, mindset in place to be like, we're doing this to create the best fan experience, as I said. And it's like, of course, with the way it is built, there are going to be a handful of people who are pissed off at it.
Sure.
And one thing I've accepted is like, I think once people read into it and once people ask questions to me, and when I can break it down to them what our program actually is, I do think they start realizing, okay, it's a lot more than an NFT. That's just the program, that's just the technology that it's on.
Mm-hmm.
The actual program is to just make hardcore Fnatic fans have a crazy cool experience. Like, for example, when we sent members to the Berlin facility, when we put that video out, there were no messages about lol, stupid NFT, for example, right? Mm-hmm. All the comments were like, "Wow, that's cool! Like, what you got to
you got to see the players, be at the venue and everything."
Yeah, like you got to play table tennis with like Rhuck, for example, and I was like, "There we go." You know,
here's the value.
This is it. So I don't think I would change it, and also like I am one of those people who are like, you know, if someone above me in the company has stated that this is the program, I fully trust them, and I'm like, listen, I'll carry out the best way I can, and you know, if it works, then it works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah. I mean, you know, there's been obviously a lot of, because it's been barely 1 year since the membership has started, really, right?
Yeah, it's we are approaching. I think so. I didn't join Fnatic when they released it. I came in afterwards, but I think we're coming up to a year now. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's when you look back at it, there's been so many activations actually for just what we would call like a sort of beta year of just testing out of things that have happened. And I mean, already being able to, you know, like you said, meet the players, play a game of table tennis, just going to the facility, I think that's pretty much, like, I know I would have loved going there, being the insane Fnatic fan. I probably would be fanboying too much to be able to play table tennis properly. I would just let him win, like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But exactly. Yeah, you know, it's like there's already all of this, and it hasn't been a year, so you know it can only grow from there. But following Lyddon's next question, in terms of gaming skills at Fnatic HQ, on a scale between 1 to 10, where would you put yourself? I will just preface this that it has a very mean 1v1 skill set, so I don't know how that.
You remember Malmö?
Yeah, I don't know how that goes onto different games. If we're just on League of Legends, since you know you're really on that segment, or if we're talking games on a larger scale. I know, especially Lyddon, he's a guy who's always on the latest trends when it comes to games. What was it? Something Edge? What's the last game we've been playing, Lyddon? Sector's Edge. So he's been on this. He's already smashing it with Loki. I'm too boomer to be playing these games properly, but Sector's Edge, new esport. There you go. So how would you evaluate yourself?
Okay, I think in terms of like raw gaming ability, probably like a 2.
Okay. 10 being the highest, obviously. I just want to make clear.
Yeah, 10 being the highest. I think, like, I'm not even kidding. Sometimes I'm like trying a new game, and I'm like, I'm genuinely like I'm so wrong in so many places. Like my limbs don't work, my brain malfunctions, and I'm like, what is any of these buttons? And they're like, press triangle to jump, and I'm like, but I don't. But in terms of like games I actually play, like League, for example, I'd say maybe what do I rank in the office? Probably like an 8.
Okay. Because you're like master diamond, something like this, or maybe above. No, I don't know. I that's what I was told. Maybe I was lied to.
I'm not masters, but I did beat some masters at that Malmö one.
There you go.
If you remember, but it's just Okay, I mean the highest I've been is Diamond 2, but I was one tricking. I'm currently Diamond 4 in solo queue. So yeah, I'm okay. I'm not too good. I'm alright.
What other do you mainly play, like PC games, or did you have any console games, and any favorite games that you had prior?
Well, growing up, I played Dynasty Warriors.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
what
I was a big
platform was it on? Because I know it came out on GameCube as well at one point, but
I played on PlayStation.
PlayStation, yeah.
That was my PlayStation 2. I also played Age of Mythology.
Okay.
Was the first game I played. That was the very first game I played, Age of Mythology. And oh my god, Prostagma. If anyone in the chat knows Prostagma. Anyway, yeah, that game was sick. I loved it. Spent a lot of time on it. I learned a lot about Greek mythology on that game. I'm a nerd. If you ask me Greek mythology questions, I probably know the answer. But yeah, so that's where I started. That was a PC game. Then I transferred into PlayStation 2 games, but cost myself PS3. I was a COD player, Black Ops 2. I was very bad, but it's fine. And then I discovered this really cool game. It was called Heroes of New Earth.
Okay.
I don't know if you know that.
Heroes, of course.
All right, so Heroes of New Earth is like this copy of Dota. Because I couldn't get a key for Dota 2, like a beta key for Dota 2. I think there was something like that. I couldn't play Dota 2 basically, so I played Heroes of New Earth. I was like, I am so bad at this game. Like, oh my god, I'm so awful. But I had so much fun playing it. And then I was telling my friends, I was like, man, if only there was a game like this, but easier. And then he was like, wait, try League of Legends. And I was like, League of Legends? Like, what? That sounds so stupid. And then one day I was bored because I fed on Hon. And then I was like, all right, you know what? I'll try this League of Legends game. I played 2 games and I was like, oh, I'm addicted. And then I couldn't stop playing that game. And then that's where I sold my soul to Rito Games. So yeah.
Did you play any Valorant or any Riot franchise games?
I play Valorant on demand, if that makes sense. Like, if friends ask me to play the game, I'll play it. I don't think I would ever like queue up and be like, oh my god, it's time to rank up on Valorant. But I think if a friend was like, I can't play Valorant, I'd be like, okay, I can't play Valorant, and I'd have a great time. But
because we have this question asking, what's it like being Radiant in Valorant? Can you teach me how to play Omen, from Fnatic Shy? So, are you actually Radiant to start with, and are you an Omen OTP?
I'm an Omen OTP, not by choice. It's because I don't know how to play any other character.
So you're just bringing the utility for your mates to carry, is that it?
I'm not even bringing utility. I don't use his abilities. I just know what his ult does, and whenever I ult, I just do some crazy ult. I go into enemy, like all of them. I scan around. I'm like, yeah, this is not a good idea, and I cancel it.
You just spook them. You're like, boo, and then you disappear.
Yeah, exactly.
Just tap on their shoulder, and then they're like, what was that? And they act like a Metal Gear Solid soldier, like, must have been the wind or something.
Yeah, I'm just like, hi, and then I leave. But no, I mean, I would describe my Valorant playstyle as like sexually confused.
Sexually confused, and that's something I've never heard to describe any Valorant skill. I'm looking forward to your description. Elaborate, please, for our viewers here.
Basically, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. So yeah, that's me.
I see. So no Radiant as of recent. Yeah, okay.
Sadly not, despite popular opinion.
I see. Oh well, you know, if they still want you in their games, they'll know that they can maybe count on your smokes, or at least your ultis.
Nah. I don't know. That's a good idea.
Actually, quick question from Tofu, who was in Malmö, asking about your experience over there. So, when you were in Malmö, what was your best experience, and what did you take away from it?
Malmö. I think my biggest experience was that this was my first event for Fnatic, I mean, I'd only done Gamescom before this, but this was my first event for Fnatic specifically related to League of Legends. And even at my old company, we did some cool events, but they were never League of Legends focused. And I remember growing up, I was like, I've just realized I've never done like a League focused event, even though that's like my most popular game. So this was the first time where I was like, if people wanted to ask questions, I would know the answers to, if that makes sense. Right. So I think it was a good opportunity to apply my knowledge of like how to interact with the community, because the essentially this was my time to engage with, you know, essentially the fan base and community that I'd been interacting with online for, how long have I been playing League for? Like, what? I'm so old. 10 years? Whatever. I don't know. But yeah, it was the time, and it was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't have a general plan. I think I'm just gonna be myself, and it worked, and it was good fun. I learned a lot about, like, you know, how to not necessarily engage, but I guess to an extent engage, right? Like, I remember at the after party, the 1v1 stations, like, I just spontaneously called Selfmade to do the 1v1 tournament, right? And he actually did, and I was like, this was one of those things where I was like, I'm just gonna apply like Adrian into this moment, like just think of something ridiculous for no reason whatsoever, and it did, and everyone got super hyped about it, and I was like, well, that worked. And yeah, so yeah, I learned a lot from that, and it was one of those things where I was like, maybe I'm not so useless, and start trusting myself a bit more with these ideas.
There you go. How much improv would you say went into that event, at least on your side? Because you did mention, obviously, that Tani had to come up with something very quickly because there was some, I don't know, back and forth with Raya, which basically a lot of miscommunication, which made everything a bit complicated. And seeing, obviously the finals were what they were, but I guess there was a lot of expectations of Fnatic making it all the way and just having, if not just one night, at least two big nights happening. You coming in kind of last minute, how much was it, okay, I already have my stuff prepared, in the sense of me being a membership manager, and then the rest as sort of, I would almost say like community managers, and you have to be the host of the event and manage everything, whether people be part of the membership or not, basically?
I think it was like probably the most, I would consider myself an expert of the last minute.
Okay.
But this was a monster like I've never seen before. Like, this is not last minute. This was last second. This was last millisecond. Everything was like when you say spontaneous, I don't think there was any other way to describe everything we did. Like I said, Tani organized that meet and greet in 20 minutes. Like the Expo, for example, she organized that in like 2 days. Like, I think like, just imagine this time frame, right? On a day, we don't have plans to go to Malmö for like a booth or anything, and then fast forward 48 hours later, she's like, hey, I got Kappa bar, we got a whole esports bar for the after party. And it was like first of all, how the fuck, excuse my French, but how the hell has that happened? And secondly, what now? You know?
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, so we get there, we come up with things like on the spot, like, for example, monetizing YouTube.
Yeah,
sorry,
that's it. Here's my whole revenue gone. How am I gonna pay rent?
Oh, it's fine. Use your key. No, I'm joking.
True.
No, but everything was like pretty last minute, and it was great experience and great to see, especially from everyone that was there, like part of the Fnatic team, and shout out to Kappa Bar for all the help as well. But yeah, it was crazy times. Would do it again. Not sure. Yeah, no, I would do it again. It was so fun.
Well, now you're prepared for it, so it's just, you know, it'll just come like this, like, oh, I know how to deal with those situations. I'll just be the usual Adrian, the superstar. I'll call in self-made, just summon him from nowhere every time.
I am by no means the superstar here. Honestly, like I think sometimes I get overhyped for doing things where I'm like, I didn't really do much here. But like I work with an incredible team. Like the people behind me are like 5-star generals. They're like absolute beasts at their art. Like I'm in awe. Like essentially sometimes I feel like I am just a messenger, and I'm like, none of this would be done if it wasn't for the incredible people I work with. So big shout out to them, definitely.
There you go.
Yeah.
Quick question I missed on here about the key. So we're just going a few steps back, which was what progress have you made for the new core key and when do you expect to release it? I don't know if you can provide any information to that, but that was asked by Gureto. Thank you for your question.
I'm trying to think. Do I want to get in trouble?
You're not forced to do anything here, so it's up to you.
Well, I'll say. Wait, sorry. The question was, do we have plans for the core key?
What progress have you made for the new core key, and when do you expect to release it?
We've made great progress.
There you go. I hope you're happy with your answer. Anything else will require an NDA in private.
Yeah. Sadly, can't say much about that, but yeah, it's more news soon. I will drop a clue. It's gonna be sick.
There you go. Keep your eyes peeled, people. Going back to you mentioning your amazing colleagues, we have. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing this correctly. If it's Tijana or Tijana, is there some South American origin in there? Having dealt with her, she's an amazing person as well, and everything that has to do with, I guess, it's customer service or support, whatever. She's the best you can get. But her question is, who is your favorite colleague in Fnatic? What do you like most about your job?
Favorite colleague? Oh my god, I really don't want to answer. I'm gonna listen. I have a group of colleagues that I would die for.
Loki is saying Golders is watching, by the way. So
Golders is watching.
Yeah.
Golders is definitely not in that group.
Golders is watching. Tijana or Tijana. I'm sorry if I'm not. Is it pronounced Tijana? Can you tell me? Are you just gonna?
Tiana.
Tiana. Okay. I don't know.
I call it Tiana.
Okay.
Favorite colleagues.
There she is, Tiana. Okay. Thank you very much.
I think, okay.
She's not from Mexican City. Listen, we have one of our mods, Jime. So I don't know that. I see Ajay, I'm like confused. Okay. You wouldn't know, Loki. You've just lived in the UK for all your life. You wouldn't know about other languages and cultures.
Yeah, exactly. Tijuana? Oh, we do call you Tijuana sometimes.
Tijuana or Tijuana? I don't know. I'm confused. It's Tiana. Now I know.
By the way, it's so weird because my camera is flipped and it's like.
I think you're absolutely fine. I have the same when I do my podcast and I'm like, oh, don't forget to follow my socials, and I point completely to the wrong direction. So I do a little catch-up dance, Asteri.
Yeah.
There we go.
But who's my favorite colleague? Right. I don't want to say who my favorite. If my favorite colleague will know who they are.
Okay. That's a very very safe answer.
But what I will say is that the department I work in, they are like amongst the most talented, most like kind, generous, and helpful people I've ever met in my life. Like Tiana, for example, like so the mystery box that's coming up, right? I was given this like as a sole responsibility, and I slowly realized that this is not my angle. This is not my strength whatsoever. Like I could come up with ideas, but after that, I was like, "What on earth do I do now?" Then I had this call with Tiana, and then it was like, when Jesus appears,
what? Jesus,
right? And you just hear, oh! It was like that. Like straight after that meeting, I heard that noise, and I was like, Okay, makes sense. And then we got to work on the box, and like I can't say what's in it, but it's gonna be so sick. Like I promise you. I love it, so therefore you will love it. That sounds really ego. That's not what I meant to do. I just meant like because I'm a fan as well. So anyway, but yeah, no, yeah, um, yeah. It's hard to say who my favorite colleague is. Well, no, I know who my favorite colleague is, but
Aha!
I'd rather not. I'd rather not put myself in that position. But I think like big special like everyone in my department from like like my line manager Josie, for example, Tani, Chris, Tiana, Maria, Slagiana, everyone. If I missed out names, shoot me. But yeah, they're all amazing. Like 10 out of 10. If they all had Yelp, I would go and write a review and be like 10 out of 10. Yeah, great people.
But there is a favorite one. But we just so now there's gonna be a battle at Fnatic HQ to be like, am I your favorite one? And they're just gonna bring you like cupcakes and coffees and everything, and be like, hey Adrian, I heard you had a favorite. Care to share with me? So
Oh god.
now it's outside.
I hope that
you'll have
happens.
to deal with that.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
It is what it is, indeed.
Yeah.
I'm seeing we have a few minutes to go, so we had the amazing True Viper dropping a buckload of questions. So I'm not even sure if I got them all on screen. True Viper, if you're watching this on VOD afterwards, I try to get as much, but there's a chance I missed some of your screenshots. I'm going to start with the first one. This is maybe an inside joke that I missed out on, but he's asking, when is the comedy show? Maybe there's some backstory about this one, but...
I'll give some context. I was like, I think we were joking about perks with the membership.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, fuck, like, screw it, I'll just do comedy shows bi-weekly. And then like sarcastically, but I guess people were like, "Oh my god, yes!" And then so that became a thing.
We do want this.
I don't think you do. It's like, if this happened, I think the membership would decrease in value.
Well, you never know until you try, so we'll be expecting it, obviously. Maybe like record a few jokes and put it in the mystery box, and then like I don't know, like it would be a USB key or something, and then we can just or like a QR code, and then it redirects to a SoundCloud or something, you know. It's the best jokes from Adrian, and we get to vote on them. I don't know. Just putting it out there. I know, obviously, since there's people involved with the box in the chat, you guys can write it down. You can mention me as the provider of the idea. It's fine. I'm just a giver here.
I feel like you guys are going too far. Did you see the petition that was like signed Polaroid from Adrian in the box? It had like 29 votes for yes, and I was like, oh my god.
You've built a bit of a fandom, I feel like, in the end.
Yeah.
Everything accelerated in Malmö, I feel like.
Yeah, I think Malmö was definitely
the game changer.
It was a bit of a game changer.
Jesus, he's asked so many questions. I'm afraid I gave him a promise that I would do most. Oh, actually, all of them.
Well, I can quickly sift through. Like,
okay, next one. Davard, Golders, and Just Ross come in the room, but you're in only one chair. Who are you offering to, or will you stay seated, and why?
I'm gonna offer it. I would no way offer it to to Golders.
Okay.
That guy can stand.
That guy can stand. You heard it here first.
That guy can stand. It'd be between Davard and Christian. I'd give it to Davard because I'm closer to him.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the bar will be there next week, guys. Make sure to.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I mean, Smash. I get to do whatever I want. Whoops. Is that the same question? That is the same question. Humanoid 1v1s. Your Azir. Who's winning? I'm guessing mirror matchup, obviously. So
I think he absolutely destroys me.
How's your Azir on a 1 to 10?
So, a fun fact: in season 7, I was ranked 3 Azir in Europe. Actually,
there you go.
I was a 1 trick, but I am also very bad at the game, so I think he would completely destroy me. So, yeah.
Fair enough. Very honest answer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Actually, this is a very good question. What does being always Fnatic mean to you? Do you see yourself doing that job for a long period of time, or are you working towards something more? My God, already thinking about it after Adrian.
Wow.
Can we even fathom it?
The thing is, I absolutely love this company. Before I joined, I was a massive fan, and after I joined, I felt like I became a bigger fan. So I'm trying to stay here for as long as possible. Of course, if sometime further down the line that changes, then so be it. But as of right now, I'd love to stay here for as long as possible. Pays the bills. No, I'm kidding, because I love Fnatic. And to me, always Fnatic means like this is something I've noticed with Fnatic, right? Is a lot of people will support a team because of the players. They'll be like, I love Reckless or Caps or something. With other teams, those players will leave and the fans will follow. I think Bjergsen for Team Liquid is a great for TSM was a great example. With Fnatic, people support the organization for players, but after those players leave, they continue supporting the organization. I feel like we are one of the only esports teams where this is actually a thing, or at least the only one over the only. And I think to me, that's what always Fnatic means. When you get into it, you don't get out of it. Even if they don't become your favorite team, you will still have an affection, support towards them one way or another. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's quite true, and it also resonates with a lot of former players. When I look at like Counter-Strike, League of Legends, players like Olofmeister and JW, Broxa, they always keep the orange and black in the side of their heart. So I'll be with you on that one. Let's see, other question. Krimz says he will extend his contract with Fnatic, but only if you get the same haircut. Will you be willing? Ooh.
No way.
No.
Like all due respect to Krimz, but if it requires me to shave my head, then there's probably a good reason why we've ended up in that scenario.
Yeah. Okay. Obviously, True Viper, being the gym rat that he is, asks a dream question. It's likely, and Boaster comes in and wants to work in with you. Do you let him in, or do you tell him to go to the nearby machine that is empty?
Oh, of course I'd let him in. I'm a friendly gym goer, so.
And Boaster is a friendly person.
Yeah, exactly.
Next question. Fnatic asks you to be the new mid for the LoL team, but that means leaving behind all the core Pioneer members who love you so much behind. Are you taking the opportunity?
No, because I want the team to win. So, I think if they put me into mid lane, then they would not win. So, let's not do that.
Gotcha. Well, almost in the same vein, what does being the membership manager mean to you? If you weren't the membership manager, what shift at McDonald's would you rather work? Good one.
The memberships manager, being memberships manager to me, the way I've interpreted the role is to be like almost like the bridge between you guys and the company. There's almost like, I think, no transparency within other companies. I could be wrong, but at least as far as I'm aware, there's not much communication between companies and their fan bases with most esports organizations. And I remember when I came in here, I was told like, we need someone, to be interacting with the hardcore fans as much as possible. And I was like, all right, you've hired the perfect, like, without being arrogant, I was like, you've hired the perfect person for this, because I'd love to do that. This is my strength. So that's what being a memberships manager means to me, is to not only give you guys a great fan experience, but to also be there for you guys. I want you guys to see me as one of you. So that's what it means to me. What shift at McDonald's? I'd probably flip the Filet-O-Fishes.
The Filet-O-Fishes, not the burgers, but the Filet-O-Fishes.
Don't trust me with the beef.
Yeah. Although Filet-O-Fishes aren't really flipped, they're just put in a scorching bath of oil.
I don't know the details behind McDonald's recipes, so
and you haven't lived. Other question. Okay, so McMuffin challenges you to a muffin off. Who's winning and why?
I don't like muffins that much, so probably not.
I see. Because I know McMuffin likes her macarons, so she got herself, and we got her with another Pioneer member a nice box. I don't know if she shared with you guys or she just ate the whole. I mean, she can, so, having managed the expo and the Kappa bar, I think she deserved a few boxes, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I mean, it's hard. They were very good. So I'd understand if she kept them to herself. Final question from True Viper. If you could only watch one team from Fnatic, which team and why would it be the LoL team?
Would be the LoL team. Just because League is my game. So,
yeah. And as we were answering those questions, someone else posted a question. I'll see if I can find it. Which is about your name. How did you come up with the name Sovonix? What is the meaning?
Who is the question by?
Stefarina. I have no idea who this person is. If you're watching, I'm very sorry, but it's the first time I see you, and you're not even following me on Inside Fnatic's Brush at IFB Podcast. So
yeah, what the hell?
She's partnered on Twitch. Okay, she's a better streamer. She's the better streamer. I cannot comment. But
she's trolling me. Anyway, I got the name because the first esports organization I worked for, SOV. Don't ask what it stands for. It's cringe. But and then Onyx is my favorite Pokemon.
There you go. There's an actual meaning.
Yep.
The face when you roast a better streamer. I mean, if I roast any streamer, I'm roasting a better streamer. Like, what are you gonna do? I have 50 followers. Like, anyone who starts a stream is basically a better streamer than me at this stage.
Great. This is great stuff.
Awesome. Well, I think we've gone through all the questions that have been asked by our amazing viewers. So this brings me to our quickfire questions. 10 questions. Reply as fast as you can, as random as they are. You'll see. Starting now. Favorite food?
Steak.
Favorite color?
Pink.
Favorite animal?
The Himalayan tiger.
Favorite movie?
This changes all the time. Either Real Steel or How to Train Your Dragon 1 or 2.
Fair enough. Country you want to visit the most?
Japan.
Favorite song?
Favorite song. This also changes a lot. I'm in Love with You by the 1975.
Biggest fear?
Being alone.
Best gift you've gotten for Christmas?
The gift of company around me.
Would you rather not be able to taste or hear anymore?
Taste.
And favorite it's answered. Final question. Favorite moment with a Fnatic?
My favorite moment with Fnatic was as a fan or as an employee?
And at any point, just favorite moment with Fnatic. You can if there's two very distinct ones, you can say both. That's absolutely fine.
Okay. As a fan, 2015, series against EDG Game 3 was pretty sick. No, sorry, Game 1, that team fight around Baron.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. I lost it. I was like, oh my god. And as an employee, probably just getting the job, honestly, like because that led on to amazing things. So.
There you go. I was actually at the game for the EDG versus Fnatic in 2015 because it was in London, and I somehow got super lucky because when you get the tickets for quarterfinals, just like you take tickets for a specific date and you don't know what game, and I don't know, lottery made it that it's the Fnatic game. So first Fnatic game I went to see live, and I got a high five by Yellow Star. And then went on to win 4 ranked games afterwards. I kid you not.
You got the power.
I got the power. I wasn't even playing support at the time. But there you go.
Yeah.
He was low-key. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, no. True Viper. Well, True Viper did say that But True Viper, I'm happy to say that I got all your questions through. Thank you very much. Gureto, we also got your questions. So... you guys, if you want to watch it on the VOD, either on Twitch or on YouTube, once it gets uploaded, it will be there. Thank you for joining me on the last minutes. But that is it for our first interview for the Fnatic series. I want to thank Adrian 1,000 times for his time.
Thank you so much for having me.
For the background that he's given us. I think a lot of people got to know you much more about how you became part of Fnatic, how even you got into esports, which I think will be interesting for a lot of people who want to get into that field and feel like it's a bit, complicated to get your first role, get your first job, or even gig in that big industry that it is today, and look at Adrian, look at his path, how he got there, and the amazing stuff that he gets to do, and be the best membership manager that Fnatic could have asked for. To finish it off, Adrian, do you have any last words for all the fans, the core Pioneer people who praise you on a daily basis and who are about to build a statue in your honor in front of Fnatic HQ?
Firstly, thank you so much, everyone. You've been very welcoming to me, to the community. I am going to continue putting my heart on the line to do great things for you. But more importantly, like you guys send a lot of love my way, but I work with an amazing team. They also occasionally drop in the Discord and chat. Send them love too, because I am literally a nobody or nothing without them. Like, give them all the love, all the support. So yeah.
We have Loki coming in with some burning news from the roster, saying that Eros leaked that Fnatic Rhuck is getting promoted. My thoughts? Well, my thoughts. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think Rhuck is definitely a very good player. Do I think he's the hottest support right now out there? Not necessarily. I do think he has a very similar style to Hylissang, which I think can be appreciated. The thing is that obviously, I mean, age I think is more of an impact in League of Legends compared to maybe other esports title. So I don't know how much of an investment into the future it is. I think when you have potentially players like Targamas and who else would have been available? Well, I still value Labrov. I know you don't, Loki, but that's just my thought here. But I played against you as the Nocturne. Yes, that was me. I was the Nocturne, and you were the Cassiopeia, I believe. But Rhuck, I think, can do a lot of good stuff. My only concern is that for summer of this year with Fnatic Team Castle, he had a lot of questionable plays. With that said, He had a very good couple of games on his international stage. I think he's a massive voice, a great veteran. So we'll have to see, because if that was an issue in the previous Fnatic roster where apparently there were no big voices within the team, I definitely think Rhuck fits into that role. So in a sense, I'm not disappointed. I'll reserve my expectations for now, but I still think it's a good pick. I just want to see how much of an investment into the future it is, and if it's not just like a player that we use to patch for a year and then we go for someone else. I think we need to start building a project, especially when we have Humanoid, Rhuck, and Wonder on the roster. That will be my opinion. I don't know, Adrian, are you allowed to say anything, any comments on the roster, or just nothing?
I don't actually know anything. So.
Okay. No. I mean, in terms of who's potentially being announced in the roster, like, do you have any thoughts? I mean, you must have seen obviously the few games by Rhuck that he did on the NA stage.
I don't know if I can say anything, but I mean, he looks good. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. If this rumor is true, then exciting times.
Awesome.
A change is always something to look forward to.
Absolutely. I think we can leave it at that, and something to think about. Awesome. Well, guys, for those who tuned in, thank you very much. To those watching the VOD, thank you very much. Make sure to follow Adrian at Sovonix, the best membership manager you could ever hope for. Follow myself. See, I don't even know. See, I have to go left and right. Matt Scott at IFB Podcast. Next week we have Adrian's favorite colleague, obviously, Davard. Davard's coming over, Mimer Connoisseur. And actually, so you guys who are watching right now, you get to have the exclusive information that we'll have a little meme competition going on, and Davard will be judging your memes. So obviously, the man who does the best in the business will go over it, and maybe you'll get a prize. Who knows? So look forward to it. It will be Wednesday, or in Davard's words, Wednesday. And yeah, I'll see you guys there. Again, Adrian, thank you very much for coming in. Keep doing you, and I'll see you guys next week. See ya. Always Fnatic, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.